Hey, what's up guys? This is definitely not the Fairlane. So the last time I had an update with y'all, I was working on my Fairlane. Right now that project's on hold because I need to get the title for it. For the meanwhile, today we are working on this 95 Honda Civic EX. This vehicle was not purchased like this. I'll put up a video right now of what the car used to look like. So far, it doesn't look that bad of a Civic. It has the straight bonded quarter panels on both sides. Front core support that was self-tapered on. That's fucking amazing. And the transmission that's sitting right next to my water heater. Good old single cam, D16Z3. I have put some money into this, like getting some new lower control arms, upper control arms, coilover, stuff like that. These sick aftermarket wheels. At this moment, right now I'm cleaning the engine bay and taking off the whole front end. More and more I dare get into this car, more and more realize that this car is a little too far gone for what I want. When I say a little too far gone. It's definitely repairable, but I bought this thing for 850 bucks running and driving with a rebuild title. It's manual. This open real quick. As y'all can tell, the trunk is a little bit wrinkled all the way around, not the best of shape. Started with the rust holes that are forming and the silicone weld going all the way up. Here's a better example of it. Right about there is a Bondo covering a hole. Of course, the trunk barely wants to close. The sunroof is shattered. They destroyed these door cards, and that shows how the ingenuity of this car was. The wires literally just fell off, and they're using acorns. Yeah, quality. Sometimes this door doesn't want to close, so it's okay. But this cart, there you go, I just gave it away. It's becoming an exo cart. So from right here, it's gonna get cut all the way back. The whole body's gonna remove doors and everything. I showed up a photo of what the idea of what this car will look like. And from right here, it's gonna get cut all the way down, all the way flush until this, I guess, bracket right here, right below the core support. This right here. I'm gonna cut it all the way down right there. Then I'm gonna use these mounting points for the dashboard. Yeah, don't you love sketchy wiring too? Yeah, it'll be all right. Then from here, from where these bolt holes are, I'm gonna build a custom bash bar that's gonna run all the way up from probably up this all the way around to where the roll cage is gonna be. But I am gonna be keeping the windshield just so I don't get harassed by the police. I wanna make sure this car's completely legal, but I am going for a Rota roll cage, 10-point roll cage. So I gotta remove the dash, cut the dash to fit it, and I'm gonna keep the dash, do something custom with it, like flock it or whatever. But from right here, it's gonna get cut, or probably a little bit more. Right about here, all the way down, it's gonna get cut to keep the windshield. The 10-point harness will follow this line, won't touch the windshield, everything like that. Just because if I do get caught in the rain, I'll have these wipers, because surprisingly, they work. So, yeah. All of these parts will be going to good use. Most of it will end up in a scrapyard. But the other half, like the front end, all OEM thinners with still all the trim. So all my buddies are gonna get that because he's missing some stuff like that. Just make his car look a lot cleaner. But it does have a couple good new parts, but for the most part, everything's going to trash. Like, that is the wheel bearing. If somebody was daily driving this car, it's kind of scary to actually think of that. But we all have different places in life. And I do believe this frame rail is a little bit tweaked. You can kind of see it. So I'm going to try to push it back out once this whole front core support gets removed. But with the bash bar, I am going to be hooking up to the OEM. Just take it out slightly. None of this will be here after I cut and snip everything. And it's just going to run straight across. Probably going to, these fucking chickens, run around into like a little U. Then maybe the headlights are going to probably stick to the corner where the bash bars start. Just get little yellow fog lights and regular pod lights. And that's pretty much it. And for the rear roll cage, it goes all the way down, all the way to the back. All this is going to get cut out, of course. So it's going to mount straight up to the, probably about right here. That's where this is going to mount. Then right after the towers, I'm going to cut right there. So I started grinding most of the rust out. I'm going to have to continue grinding, but for the most part, I think after I remove the doors and everything, I grind out the rest. But for the time being, I'm throw a layer of paint over it. So, good enough. I also just got the lower portion out. You could tell where they self-tapped everything, and you see just the regular spot welds and self-tap, self-tap, self-tapper, 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 self-tapper. Gotta love it. And this side got pretty mangled, so all I did bent it off. I had to save this piece just so I can get the radiator, lower radiators, but I'm actually gonna drill that out so it's not all janky when I re-weld it onto the batch bar, so it looks all nice and clean. I realized they use some pretty thin metal for this. That's from my pry bar. Don't believe it? There you go. That is from my pry bar. Prying down on it. That's some thin shit. So I'm done cutting for the day, and I just started spraying some oven cleaner on it. Starting to clean up the engine bay just a little bit, making it look pretty good. Well, thank y'all for watching. I am actually pretty satisfied with the work I got today. Got the whole front end ripped apart. Probably gonna end up dropping the subframe, not sure yet, but I guess I'll find out eventually if I really do. One thing I do need to do pretty soon is more and more of the silicone coming off, more and more rust I'm finding. So I'm gonna have to grind out all this silicone and all the way from down there all the way up there to repaint it. But other than that, it should be good. The only rust I have to worry about, there's definitely some on the inside, so I'm gonna have to grill out these pinch welds, drill them out, peel it back, clean up all that rust, and put it back on. But you can kind of see some forming down here, so that's something that we definitely, it almost looks like it's been, but I don't know, it's a car from the 90s, so they always didn't do everything the right way. So guess we'll find out.